When we couple the dramatic pace of change with how the modern market works, the benefits of managing projects in a more agile way become more apparent. To best understand some of the benefits, I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation where we can use the magic of storytelling to illustrate how managing a project using traditional project management would differ from the same project being managed by employing agile project management approaches. For those familiar with traditional project management methods, such as those touted by the Project Management Institute, Waterfall, or Prince2, you may appreciate this analogy more. Even if you are less familiar, you can imagine a company carefully planning every detail and executing those plans over the course of years. Since this is not a traditional project management course, I don't want to go into specific details. A broad stroke will be sufficient to demonstrate the differences, which is really important for you to see. There's often some carryover between methodologies. That is not a bad thing. A good project manager should take the best from any tool, technique, or process that best fits the project's need and circumstances. Consequently, a gray area emerges between the management methods with considerable overlap. For good reason. If a management technique works in one form, why not carry it over or put your own spin on it? It doesn't matter if it is agile, traditional, or waterfall project management, or even IT service management. They are all collections of management best practices. What works in one may not work in another. What I want to demonstrate is that there is no one best way. No project management approach is one size fits all. There's a time and a place for each. That is what you must see and appreciate. Comprehension of the advantages and disadvantages of each approach allows you to evaluate the benefits and downfalls of each. With that wisdom, you can make more appropriate decisions on which method to follow. Some of that comes with experience, but more of it comes from learning from the experience of others. True appreciation takes time, whether from learning or experience. This complete series, from beginning to end, contains what you must learn in terms of agile project management. I also encourage you to take the Project Management Professional, or PMP series, from LearnSmart based on more traditional project management, if you've not already. Having worked on both series, I can attest to their quality and value. I hope the following example will whet your appetite on what each styles could mean to a hypothetical project. Imagine you work for a cell phone developing company. The company is developing their next upgrade with a major improvement to how a user unlocks a device. We'll demonstrate how this project could be managed using strict traditional project management methodologies first. You are a project manager in the company. The company's executive team is seeing a trend for smaller devices that completely fit in the palm of one's hand. This surge in popularity is due to a competing phone company that released a glowing blue tube of a phone that displays holographic content above it, and when you have a phone call, the phone fits into your ear like a slick space-age Bluetooth earpiece. As the sales of the glowing blue tube phone are skyrocketing, gobbling up market share, and winning the praises of tech magazines and declaring the firm as the brightest company in the industry, your company sets out to cash in on the trend. After months of market research and feasibility studies, technical and non-technical, the powers that be decide to initiate a project that would add the groundbreaking new feature of being able to squeeze your company's version of the tube phone to unlock it. The engineers at your firm determine that it is possible to recognize a user's hand by their hand size, pressure of the squeeze, and the unique way each hand would be defined as part of the unique squeeze. Beyond the engineer part of the project, software updates are necessary to configure the user's preferences and run the improvement. In traditional project management, this would be tackled by beginning with defining all the work that would need to be done, identifying stakeholders and their expectations, and setting out to get a formal agreement from stakeholders on all the work that would need to be done. There are many other components which would happen concurrently, but for the sake of simplicity and ease of demonstration, I'm only highlighting the major elements at this stage. Normally, there will be one phase that looks at the engineering possibilities, and a second phase where the engineering team would build a prototype to the hardware requirements and specifications, while another part would be working on the software needs. A majority of the work, the roles and responsibilities, resources, assignments, budget, time, estimates, quality requirements, and communication plans would be determined early in the project. In our hypothetical scenario, the project team spent 3 months planning the second phase of the project. The project team was split into smaller teams focused on each of the two areas, software and hardware. The teams carefully and diligently spent those 3 months planning out all the work and how to best be done over the course of the next 9 months. The team was very proud of their ambitious but thought-out plans to get the entire product produced within a year. The executive board was very pleased with the thoroughness of the plans and the pace, the care taken in considering all the details and resources required. Coordinating them to fit cohesively in a tight production schedule was certainly going to save the company money and deliver a quality product a year from now. What the project team learned over the course of the year-long high-profile project is that the phone using public is very fickle. The advances in technology are incredibly fast-paced, and their executive board, as one of your project team members labeled them, scatterbrained and always eager to chance the next big thing and changing their minds or not knowing what they wanted. All of these major shifts and changes, not to mention the fluctuation in staffing and constant revolving door of project team members, keep the project manager at wit's end, and the project with little assurance it was going to succeed as promised. The constant changes are forcing teams to start over. Budgets are hit hard, the timeline keeps expanding. The original target of 1 year becomes less and less likely. What was probably the most frustrating for the team is that even when surpassing the year mark, they have nothing close to being ready to put out to market. They mostly all agree that the changes being made were going to make a more solid and sellable product when done. But with every passing quarter, they see their competitors bring to market some of the features they had been working on and thought were revolutionary. Additionally, as competitors are bringing out similar features and functions, they're bringing out features and functions that the public were expecting your product to include, and the corporate powers certainly don't want to be embarrassed by not having those features too. As you know, every change, small or large, requires some rework and reexamination of what has been done and what still needs to be done. The tight year-long schedule is constantly being reworked and adjusted to accommodate the changes both of scope and resources. Now, nearing the 2-year mark, the product is almost ready to launch. It's far superior than any Bluetooth phone that exists on the market. Real genius. By this point, though, the public is over this fascination of the little Bluetooth phone and have gravitated towards larger devices. With 2 years of product development, the cost for this brilliant piece of equipment has forced the price to be almost too high for any target market that does not already own a Bluetooth phone and is still interested in one. Even though the project did accomplish what it had set out to do, bring to market a far superior phone with a unique way to unlock it, it's labeled a failure. Nothing had been brought to market for over 2 years, and when something is brought to market, it's deemed out of touch and behind the times.